Hi there, thanks for checking out our repair channel. This is just going to be a little overview of this particular unit. This is called a Herdsman 50-mile fence charger. This is a private labeled unit made by Parmak. It's the same thing as a Super Energizer 5 or an SE5. There's a chain of stores here in Missouri called MFA, Missouri Farmers Association, I think is what it stands for. They got a lot of like agri stores. I think it was MFA Agra-Service, what they call like basically a little farmers co-op. And Parmak, I don't know if they still make them or they used to make them or whatever, but they made their own brand, private labeled ones for the MFA stores to sell. So this is one of them. This is called the Herdsman 50. They've got I think they got some solars and some other plugins units that are the Herdsman brand. But all they are is just a private labeled Parmak. But this is a Herdsman 50 that we got in for repair for a customer, and we did went through it, got it going again and everything. So if you've got a Herdsman 50 or a Parmak SE5, it's the same thing, or any other brand or model of a Parmak, Herdsman, or other brands like Gallagher, Parmak, or Speedrite, Stayfix, Power Wizard, Zariba, Blitzer, any of that stuff. That's what we do. That's what we work on. We work on all these fence chargers that are out there, old ones from 50 plus years ago to new ones being built today. If it's a fence charger and it can be fixed, we'll certainly work on it. But we get free quotes, and we work on all brands, all ages, 18-month repair warranties, everything that we work on. Lightning damage is part of our warranty, but you can go to our website. It's fencerfixer.com. It's down in the description tab is where you can find it. There's Fencer and Fixer, both spelled with an F as in Frank. So you can check us out there and see what we do. If you like this video, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, ask us questions and such at the comments area, or get a hold of us at the website. There's an email address and comments at box thing on the website as well. But all right, well, we're going to get into this thing a little bit and just tell you a little bit how it works and everything. Powered up here. All right, that little gauge there in front says 12.8, and it bounced around a little bit, 12.9, 13.1, whatever. That's supposed to be the kilovolt reading. It says it's supposed to be putting out 13,000 volts roughly, and it's not. They don't put out that high. Let me pull the knobs back here, and I'll show you we'll get the knobs off here, and we'll show you what's actually putting out. It's kind of a gimmicky thing, this display. It does have a function to itself, but if it says 13,000 or 13K or whatever, it's not putting out that much. There's no fence charger I know of nowadays in the last 20, 30 years that puts out more, maybe 10, 11,000 volts on the high side, but not very many that will go over that amount. Some older ones that were solid state would put out 10, 12,000 volts, but that's a different type of shock altogether. They're not low impedance or solid state and stuff. So, but all right, so we're going to put fence tester on here. Turn it on. Getting 7,000 volts out of it. So I can take another couple different testers around here somewhere, and I get probably 6.9 or 7.5. I'll probably be in the same range. The good thing about this gauge though is if you walk by the barn or the shed or wherever this thing's sitting at, and you walk by one day and it's showing 13, you can walk by a week later, now it's showing 7 or whatever, or you walk by the next day and it's showing 0, okay, I might have a problem here. I'm going to grab a load tester here and put this across it here in a second. But to know if your fence charger's had a problem or if your fence in general has got a problem, the thing to do is to turn it off, disconnect your fence and ground from it, and turn it back on. If you walk by and it's showing 6 or 5 or 8 or whatever, you unplug it, turn it off, unhook your fence and ground, turn it back on, the number jumps back up to 13 or whatever. Okay, my charger's fine. I've got something out on my fence loading down, either a bunch of grass or bad insulator, it's arcing to the T-post, or no, maybe some deer jumped the fence, caught the leg on it, broke it off the insulator, now it's rested up against the T-post, or you got an underground cable under a gate that got pinched or nicked at some point in time, now it's arcing and broke down the insulation, now it's leaking to the ground. It could be anything touching between fence and ground, whatever, it's gonna, drag that number down. So I'm going to demonstrate that. So you're walking by one day and you're reading 13 or whatever, and you're like, okay, well, I'm doing good. And next week you walk by and you're like, why is my charger showing low? So what I'm going to do is this thing here I've got rigged up. It's just it's a 20 watt, 150 ohm resistor. 0 ohms is dead short. So the closer you get to 0 on a load tester, the more stress it puts on a unit. So we got 150 ohm. So I'm going to put this across here. See, it dropped it down to 4.2 roughly. So if you walk by and it's showing 4 or 8 or something like that, like, okay, might have a problem here. So you don't know if it's a charger or the fence. Unplug it. Turn it off. Undo your fence and ground. And if it plug it back in, jumps back up to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever these things will say or show, then you know, okay, my charger is probably okay, and that the problem is in your fence somewhere. So that's the easiest way to check any of these, and you can do it on other brands too. Some brands, if you don't have a fence tester, get one. You can look at these up, SpeedRite, digital voltmeter. Only thing I don't like about these is they are non-repairable. You can buy them for like $50 or whatever, but if one ever goes bad, they're kind of a cheap plastic thing, but they work good. They're nice, but they're not repairable. So that's the only thing downside of these. If you want a good tester that is repairable, well, look at a Gallagher DVM3. I don't have one sitting here to show you. I had to rob parts off of one to fix another customer's deal, so mine's parted out. But look up a Gallagher DVM3. I might find a link and put that in the description area too if you want to find one. I don't make no money off that deal, so don't. If you want to buy one, you're not giving me money, or whoever's selling it, that's who you're buying it from. That's who's getting the money, not me. Yeah, that's a quick way to test them. One thing I was going to say, if you've got some other brands of units out there, like a Gallagher, Stay Fixed, SpeedRite, some of those guys have just a row of lights that flash either up and down or sideways. And some of those have a row of lights that have like green, yellow, and red. Some of them, like the Gallaghers have on some of the medium powered units, have a row of lights. So if you walk by one day and it's showing all the way up into the green, way at the top, and then next week you walk by and it's showing in the yellow or in the red, and look, okay, that's the same thing as what this is doing. It's just dragging it down. Instead of showing numbers, it's showing lights. Same thing. So, if you got one of those, you unhook it, power it off, unhook it, the fence and the ground, otherwise no stress of any kind hitting it, turn it back on. If those lights went from the red or the yellow all the way in the green again, okay, my charger's probably okay. And if you hook it back up and it goes back in the yellow or the red, you've got a short somewhere out on your fence somewhere. SpeedRites and Stay Fixed units, they've got a row lights that run across the top or in the middle somewhere. Same thing with that one. If the lights are only in the medium, middle or low, unplug it, disconnect your fence and ground, plug it back in, or hook it back to battery, however you got it connected, and those lights go all the way to the top again. Then 9 times out of 10, that means you've got a short in the fence somewhere. So that's the quickest way to test one of these things. If you got a fence tester, you can always verify if it's working or not, because sometimes it'll show good, but then you put your tester on there, it shows bad or no output voltage, and you could have a connection problem or a bad transformer or something like that. So that's just a quick overview of how this thing works and how a lot of other brands and models work. It's just a quick how to test and everything. So, but we work on all this stuff. So if you've got a fence charger or electric fencer or fence energizer, whatever these brands want to call themselves, they're all the same thing. Just different guts, different ideas on the inside, but they're all fence chargers, electric fencers, electric fence energizers, all the same things, just different nomenclature and names that they want to call them. But check our video, our link down in the description area. It's fencerfixer.com. It takes you to our website. And like I said, fencer and fixer is both spelled with an F as in Frank. But until we do another video of how to work on one, or how one works, or the features of a unit or whatever, we will see you guys later. And remember to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, ask us questions, but we'll be happy to help you out.